Our conscious mind is only a small part of our consciousness. Let's use an iceberg as an example. This part on top is our conscious mind and is all we normally have access to. But there's so much more stored in our physiology below the surface in our subconscious mind. The muscle test is able to tap into that vast array of information, and it allows that to guide the treatment.
Which brings up my favorite thing about NET. My absolute favorite thing about NET is when the client thinks it's this. And it sounds reasonable to me, and it fits together in terms of the way that things are. And I'm convinced of that, and they're convinced of that. And the muscle test doesn't indicate that at all.
Me too. I love being surprised.
Whoa! Isn't that great? You know, we are definitely not driving this muscle test. Okay? The person's physiology, what's going on with them, is what's driving this.
I always say I love when I'm surprised, because your body is a lot smarter than my brain.
Totally. Once somebody's experienced NET, it's very difficult to describe externally how it works. People have said, oh my God, I just feel so much lighter. And that's what I hear. That's the word specifically.
Yes.
No one's been coached or trained on that word or anything else, but that seems to be the word in the lexicon, okay, lighter. And if people are just talking about the fact that their world feels less dark and there's more light and more hope in it, or most of the time they're talking about their physiology, you know, oh, I feel lighter, there's less weighing me down. And so I hear that all the time, and that's an experiential thing that you just can't get cognitively.
Without the research, clinical observations like these would simply remain observations. Thanks to one's research, we've discovered that experiencing NET leads to increased connectivity in our brain, which leads to a more properly regulated nervous system. Future research is needed to understand just how far-reaching the effects on our physiology can be.
One of the purposes of research is to sort of crack things open so that people who are genuine scientists, who look at the data in an unbiased way, those people will then at least go, that's something to consider. Now I'm open to examining further evidence about that. And more than anything else, whether it's the public reading a more popularized synopsis of a research article, okay, that's more accessible, or if it's a scientist who's reading this and thinking, that's interesting, I'd never thought about it in that way, this deserves more study. All I'm looking for from the research is the sparking of a very powerful human incentive, and that's curiosity. Curiosity is a magical thing for humans because it draws them to higher levels of function, higher levels of evolution, higher levels of adaptation. And so it's a whole different level of functioning.
It's our higher human state.
Yes, exactly. And so if we can inspire and draw people into that state of just being open, that's what I'm looking for from the research.
Curiosity allows us the opportunity to ask questions and then requires us to be open to where the answers lead. Clarity in one area of research often uncovers the need for further exploration in another. This issues a call to action for increased collaboration between experts in different fields of study in order to create a healthier future for all of us.
I don't expect them to believe in any of it. There's the research. You don't have to believe this, but just what would happen if it was possible? I don't need to convince anybody because I know NET will end up convincing them on its own.
Whenever it's time.
That's right, in its own way. It's not about anything other than just a pathway of re-becoming ourselves.